Warframe's lore is filled with countless mysteries, and many questions remain unanswered. One of these is the man in the wall. Who is he? More importantly, what is the deal our Tenno made with him? Today we'll be diving into a theory I like to call Dead Deal Lotus. At first it may seem silly to think that our deal with the wall was to get rid of Lotus. I mean, it makes no sense, right? How would the wall know about Lotus if she only became a concept because of the Tenno? Well, that brings us to our first segment, Eternalism. Eternalism is a concept first mentioned in the main story quest, The New War, ironically where the wall makes its first full appearance, but we'll get to that later. Eternalism is the idea that past, present, and future all exist simultaneously, and that through the void, all of these can be accessed. Our current knowledge of the wall is that he is either the embodiment of the void, or the void itself, which is crucial because it allows him to move through these three times at will. This means he could know about the Lotus even if she didn't exist yet, since the future happens alongside the past and present. Now I know what you're thinking. How does this tie into the deal? Going back to the New War, the quest ends with the wall emerging through a portal from the void, its first full body appearance in the story. Lotus sends it back immediately, returning it to where it came from. Of course, the wall could very well have seen this due to eternalism, which means he knows Lotus is against him, and that's why he wants to get rid of her before she can stop him from gaining his freedom. The next piece of evidence comes from a quote from the operator. When completing a task, there's a chance your operator will say, "This is for the Lotus." This dialogue indicates devotion to Lotus. The task you're completing is in her favor, meant to help her. Now, in some of these missions, good old man in the wall Wally will pop up and direct you another way. One example of this is in the story quest Whispers in the Walls, where Wally asks you to give him the grimoire page instead of completing your task. In doing so, he even asks if you've forgotten your deal with him. Interesting, isn't it? You're doing missions to help Lotus, and he's directing you to do the opposite. Now, yes, that may seem like a bit of a stretch. However, in that same story quest, Whisper in the Walls, there is a cutscene at the end that has caught my attention ever since I completed it. It's actually the reason this theory even ever came to mind. The ending cutscene shows our black-eyed friend sitting on a throne speaking about our deal, normal edgy wall stuff, blah blah blah. But the interesting part here is his action in this moment. He's picking apart a lotus flower, and then, right at the end, he crushes it. The connection here is undeniable. I mean, he's talking about our deal, and in that exact moment, tearing apart a lotus flower. And those flowers bring us to our next big point. The following quest right after Whispers in the Walls is titled Lotus Eaters, and originally my thought was that the wall was what was being defined as a Lotus Eater in this quest. It wants to consume her, get rid of her, and this whole idea was backed by the cover image for that quest. It's the wall's face with an open mouth in front of Lotus. It's pretty self-explanatory. But then I looked deeper and realized there could be more to it. In Greek mythology, Lotus Eaters are people who sit on an island munching away at lotus plants in order to forget their duties and obligations. Now, what obligations could there be in this story? Definitely unrelated to that deal we have with the wall. You know, the one we're obligated to fulfill ever since we shook that cute boy's hand. Upon this realization, I finished this theory. I mean, that was the last piece I needed. The wall wants us to get rid of Lotus because of her ability to make us forget. Forget what we owe and forget what we're obligated to do. There's evidence of this ability in the newest quest, The Old Peace, where at the end, Margulis is in Balas's room, and she puts the operator to sleep, and right before the operator goes out, He says, "You're gonna make me forget." Forget is the big word here, because that's why the wall wants Lotus gone, is because of that ability. He wants Lotus gone because, in truth, she's the one holding him captive and stopping him from getting what he wants. Control. But hey, that's just a theory. A frame theory. Thanks for watching.